Good morning, good morning, good morning. I know that's too much energy for one morning, huh? Well, I've been a busy bee so far. I've been knocking out phone calls left and right this morning. That's why I'm a little late. I was trying to make it by 10 o'clock, but when you're reporting a felony fraud kidnapping of your child, you tend to have longer conversations than expected, and so it's definitely definitely trying to exhaust all the limits. So I've made contact with essentially my daughter's kidnapper's chain of command, and so I'm sure by the end of the day that my daughter's kidnappers are going to be fully aware that I know exactly what unit my daughter's kidnapper is with. And again, I appreciate the Marines Times that I had talked to, and so again, it's one more exhausting of limits. See, I've already checked off California, checked off South Dakota. Now my fight's in North Carolina, so I had to make 5 different phone calls, but at the end of the day, I was able to speak to one of the top offices in their chain of command and report my accusation and make it clear that I'm the accuser, they're the accused, and I'm trying to seek the equal justice under the law. So I'm not going to refer to who is investigating this, but I will say that I do have the appropriate person, at least as far as profession goes. And one of the things that I'm going to reiterate when I do get the call back today is that now that you're aware of a felony accusation, you're going to have to report it. You're mandatory reported to report it to the appropriate authorities on base. So if I would have known this unit and figured this out sooner, again, I had a conversation with somebody that kind of directed me kind of into this approach and helped me out in that aspect. And so, like I said, they are mandatory to report it, and so again, kidnappers like hiding. Okay, folks, it's not like they. Here's a call from the governor's office. So if I have to end this, I'll be right back. All right, well, I'm back. So I'm sorry that happened. I told you guys that the governor was going to be that the governor's office had called. That was the scheduler. They are telling me that the governor will not speak to me about this issue, and therefore, as I've said, now Governor Dennis Daugaard, I will be burning the Admiralty Law flag. You won't see it coming, but I'm going to tell you what date it's going to be because you picked the date, and that'll be September 13th when you call for the joint session of our state legislature. There's going to be every state legislator in that building. Everybody's going to be there. And because you won't speak to me about this issue, I'm going to burn the flag on that day. And again, the scheduler tried to tell me that I should go talk to their people in the Capitol about where I can burn the flag. And I had to reiterate, I'm not asking this unconstitutional form of government for permission to do anything when it comes to symbolic speech and protest of the felony fraud kidnapping of my daughter. So make no mistake about it, I'm definitely going to use every maxim in law up to and including symbolic speech. You might not like the location, but I don't like this aiding and abetting and felony fraud kidnapping. But again, it is one more check off the list that the state of South Dakota says there's absolutely nothing they can do, even though we know that's not true. And so, again, the governor's calling for that joint session, and I think that's going to be the perfect time for everybody that goes in that Capitol building to see the inverted flag, and then to burn the Admiralty Law flag is definitely happening at this point. So now that's not to say that the North Carolina government can't do the right thing and stop the felony fraud kidnapping, where that's the jurisdiction where my daughter's being harbored. But like I said, you guys are not realizing that my daughter's held hostage in a kidnapping. So I'm going to hold the flag hostage, and I'm going to burn the flag. And I think that it's going to be on the day that the governor calls for the joint session of our state legislature. And I have no problem sitting in front of your South Dakota judges and saying, hey, when a felony fraud kidnapping's being reported, what is the interest of the the South Dakota Corporation, the state of South Dakota? What is the actual responsibility in the UCCJEA? Because apparently this governor doesn't know that. And so, on September 13th, 2018, during the joint session of the state legislature here in South Dakota, I will be flying the inverted flag as everybody enters that Capitol building. Everybody's going to see the inverted flag on that day. And you can send your criticism, send all that, your apathy. I don't give a shit. So at the end of the day, September 13th, Pierce, South Dakota, joint session of the state legislature, and I'll be there with the inverted flag. So, that's a fact. So we're 1 month away. So, Governor, I gave you every opportunity to do the right thing, and I'm telling you right now, you've done the wrong thing. So you've got the state of North Carolina will have the next 30 days to try to stop this. But as far as I'm concerned, the state of South Dakota is now aiding and abetting in the felony fraud kidnapping of my daughter. So I do appreciate your letter. I do appreciate your letter. Where'd it go? Because again, that letter, and I've read it on a previous video, like I said, that letter's not for me, Governor. That letter is from my daughter. So that my daughter, when she's old enough to figure out the crimes that this government's committed and the rights that have been deprived of not only her, but her family, that there's a paper trail. So this right here is all that I need to show in paper that you're not going to do anything. So because you're not going to do anything, guess what? There's going to be nothing you can do to stop the flag from burning. I'm done. I've exhausted every limit that anybody that ever begged me not to burn the flag the first time begged me. I have the letter to show them I went through everything they asked me to do, to not. So like I said, now we're going to burn the flag. Whether anybody likes it or not, it's going to happen. So 30 days from now. And it'll be live streamed. And I will have a camera here. I'll have a camera here. And if you put your hands on me and assault me, good luck. Good luck. It's a peaceful protest in redress of the grievance of the felony fraud kidnapping of my daughter. September 13th, 2018, joint session of the state legislature. I will be at the Capitol with the inverted flag. And everybody's going to see it. Everybody's going to see it. I don't know exactly how it's going to go down, but I'll give you a little bit of time while I'm out there with the inverted flag to actually come out and do the right thing. And if I don't speak to the governor by the end of that day, then yeah, he won't see the flag burning coming. You won't even see it coming. It's amazing to me, when going through a kidnapping, how many people absolutely make every excuse in the book to do nothing. To just aid and abet in it, to stay apathetic to it. You know, what happened to the oath you took, Governor, in order to support and defend the Constitution? You know, equal justice, equal protection under the law. I think that you've now violated your oath of office to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, and therefore you are continuing to aid and abet in the deprivation of my rights, my fundamental liberty interest, under the color of law, which is essentially, Governor Dennis Daugaard, I'm accusing you of treason. So, Again, September 13th, 2018, South Dakota State Legislature. Let me make sure I got the date right. South Dakota State Legislature, September 13th, joint session. All right. This is from 5 days ago. Okay, never mind. I thought it was the 13th. It's the 12th. Either way, one less day. So go back and change all those 13s to 12s in advance of September 12th special session. If I'm there on the 13th, everybody's gone home. So September 12th special session of the state legislature. Pierce, South Dakota Governor Dennis Daugaard today announced that he will fill 3 vacancies in South Dakota State Legislature. The appointments come in anticipation of next month's special legislative session, September 12th. So, again, scratch all those 13s and put it in a 12. September 12th, I will be burning the Admiralty Law flag if I do not speak to my governor on that day. You know what the scheduler told me? The governor's not available to speak to you on this issue. No, the governor is my governor, and if this is a constitutional republic, then he will present himself to his constituent, i.e. me. I've done exhausted every limit in this damn state that I can, and now he's sending me back to square fucking one. So like I said, I'm not messing around this time. I have the date that he is bringing every state legislator into the Capitol building. So every one of them is going to see the inverted flag. And if I don't speak to the governor by then, every one of them is going to watch the flag burn, and it will be live streamed for the whole world to see. I'm not playing around anymore. I'm done. I'm absolutely done. September 12th, mark your calendars. Joint session of South Dakota State Legislature. And I'm burning the flag if I don't speak to the governor by then. And I told you guys I wouldn't publicize it, but I didn't have a date that was going to bring every state legislator into the building prior to that. So, you know what? Now we got a wonderful date set. September 12th. I will be there early in the morning with the inverted flag, so that way everybody walking into that building is going to see that flag. And I'm not holding it up this time. I'll definitely have it on a flagpole because that gets tiring. But again, the point being that every single state legislator is going to see that inverted flag. And if I don't speak to the governor of South Dakota personally by the 12th of September, I will burn the Admiralty Law flag by the end of the day there. Watch me. Again, this is a peaceful protest in protest of my daughter's kidnapping. And I'm not asking permission from an unconstitutional form of government to protest the felony fraud kidnapping of my child. That's absolutely asinine that you think I would do that. Absolutely asinine. See, the reason they want me to go to their little bureau department and ask permission is so that way they can tell me, no, CJ, you can't protest on that day because we've got this joint session and everybody's going to be here. That's the point of a protest. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So watch this unconstitutional form of government put their hands on me on that day. I'm not going to touch anybody, but I'll bet you this unconstitutional form of government puts their hands on me. I'm not going to conduct violence against anybody. I'll bet you that this unconstitutional form of government conducts violence against me. Mark your calendars, September 12th. It's going down for real. And I am as serious as can be. There is nobody on the other end of this screen that can beg me I did everything that they asked me to do, who begged me not to. I did everything that you asked of me to not burn the flag the first time I said I wanted to do it. But now look what happens. You begged me not to. I didn't. I've exhausted all the means that you've asked me to. I'm being told the governor's going to hide in his office like a little bitch. And guess what? Now I got it to where he's bringing everybody into the building. Every single legislator. That sounds like the perfect day to protest an unconstitutional form of government. That sounds like the perfect day to protest the felony fraud kidnapping of my child. And yes, the flag will be inverted. And by the end of the day, if I don't speak to the governor, I'm burning that flag. And like I said, the only caveat to this is if the state of North Carolina stops this kidnapping in the next 30 days. That's it. And even then, I still want to speak to you, Governor Dennis Daugaard. Whether you know it or not or care or not, I'm going to speak to you. So like I said, this is absolutely asinine, Governor. If it was any one of your kids you were going through this, you wouldn't be able to hack it. You wouldn't be able to handle it. In fact, I'd bet Governor Dennis Daugaard, a young Dennis Daugaard, my age, 32, going through this fraud kidnapping, would have put a bullet in his head. Would have committed suicide. Been one of those parents that they can't hack it. That's not me. I'm going to live to be a parent. I'm not going to take myself out because the only way to have time to be a parent is to have time to be a parent. And that's the only thing that's apparent in my world. And that is being deprived of me. My fundamental liberty interest is being deprived of me without proper due process of law, with no criminal conviction to speak of. You want to know how I know it's a bunch of bullshit? Want to know how I know beyond a reasonable doubt that there is no ruling of unfitness? There is nothing that determines that I'm a criminal, that can't be a father to my child. There's my concealed carry. I can conceal carry a pistol in the state of South Dakota, but for some reason, I can't be a parent to my own child who's been kidnapped by fraud? None of it makes any sense. So like I said, absolutely asinine. So, with that being said, mark your calendars, folks. September 12th, I will be in Pierre, South Dakota. I'm not going to D.C. I'm not going to go join those frauds out there, although there's a few cool ones. You guys know who you are. I'm not joining no drama circus monkey show. I'm not going to go sit there and play nice with frauds who are trying to continue to conduct their fraud. I'm going to be in Pierre, South Dakota on September 12th. Joint session of the state legislature with the inverted American flag, and I will be there before the sun rises. Best believe. Every state legislator that's going to walk into that building is going to know that there's an inverted flag outside. And every single one of them, you better prepare, because if I don't speak to the governor, my governor, before the end of the day, this state of North Carolina, as in this letter that Governor Daugaard said that I need to exhaust limits of, sending me back to the bottom of another state where more people get to ask more questions, when again, I'm the accuser, they're the accused. That's how it goes down. That's the Constitution. We need a jury. We need a prosecutor. We need somebody to actually have the jurisdiction to submit the claim against the people I'm claiming have committed a crime. I'm getting really tired of this. 1,500 and how many days? Let's see here, folks. Let's watch this. This is how sad this is. How many days has it been since June 8th, 2014? Four years, 2 months, 5 days. 1,527 days. Or 218 weeks, 50 months, 36,648 hours, How about this one? 2,198,880 minutes since my daughter was kidnapped by fraud. 2.2 million minutes. And you're going to sit there and tell me that I have no right to protest, that I have to ask for permission? Fuck you and fuck that. Oh, stupid fucking idiots. Now that's since I last saw my daughter. You minus 5 days, and that's when the kidnapping of the court allowed it. Again, not because I'm a criminal, but because of a statute written. A color of law statute. A deprivation of rights under the color of law. That's 2.2 million minutes. So yeah, don't think for a second that in the 1 minute conversation I have when you go, CJ, you need to ask for permission to burn a flag, that I'm not going to think back to the 2.2 million minutes that I haven't talked to you idiots, and sit there and think I'm going to ask you for permission. How stupid do you think you are? And I said that for a reason. I don't think I'm stupid at all. Well then, at what point don't you understand that I'm not asking permission from this government to protest this government? God damn, you must be stupid. So with that being said, I need some coffee. And again, for those that didn't pay attention last night, I will not be seeking the nomination for the Constitution Party. Even though it's guaranteed ballot access, I just have to focus on this. I'll run again in 2022. But right now, I'm hot on the trail of my daughter's kidnappers. I know what unit they're with. And I'm waiting on their chain of command. And like I told the Master Sergeant, I'm not going to name him, but like I told the Master Sergeant, you might want to have somebody there with you when you question this man, so that way you don't become culpable to the fraud conducted. So hopefully he heeds my advice. So I should be expecting a call back from them within the next hour and a half. Tick tock, tick tock. How many more minutes? There's 90 more minutes added on to the 2.2 million minutes. You know what really pisses me off? Then you hear somebody like the Dark Troubadour last night. You know, he's explaining what he's been through. He's explaining the years. 2.2 million minutes is nothing compared to what that man has walked through. I just can't do it. I can't, like I said, if I get to that long, heads are going to roll. This is a felony fraud kidnapping we're discussing, folks. It's not like I'm talking about some Grand Theft Auto. I'm not talking about, some small misdemeanor crime. I'm talking about a Class C felony. And I'm getting really tired of the fact that there are so many people that say they support and defend the Constitution when I have seen zero evidence of that in my life. I've seen zero evidence of that. In the last 1,527 days, I've seen zero evidence of anybody that actually supports and defends the Constitution. Zero. It's all fluff words for people. It's all like it's like yeah, I do solemnly swear, but when I'm not looking, what happened to integrity? Those things are gone. So like I said, mark your calendars. So.
That is
Yeah.
That is a girl song.
That's a girl song?
Yeah. It's a green song. Hey, what's this one?
You want to say hi to everybody?
Hi. Daddy, this is a book. Yep. Yep.
She's got her headphones on. Obviously, because I'm a little loud this morning. Aubrey, you got anything for the world?
Yep.
Alright, what do you want to say?
I take a bath. I'm clean. Daddy, I'm clean.
Yeah, you took a bath last night?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you were a muddy girl?
Daddy, what's
She was
this?
covered from head to toe in mud last night. Like
Sand.
Oh, sand. Well, sand and water. What do you think that is?
Yeah.
Dirt and water makes mud.
Daddy, we pour some sand and we make we make water in the fire truck.
And that makes mud.
So sorry.
What do you want, Aubrey?
No, I always have cereal.
Do you want? You just had cereal. What do you want though? Wait for it.
Yeah.
If you could have anything right now, what would you want?
Yeah. Oh.
She's not even listening to me. She's got her headphones in. Tell everybody bye, Aubrey. Say bye.
Bye. Party with the artist.
Like I said, she's talking loud, so it's like, Aubrey, you might want to put your headphones on for today. Aubrey,
What?
you want some fruit snacks?
Mm-hmm.
It's about that time. You can have a fruit snack.
Party with the artist. Sweet.
What do you say?
Thank you.
Alright, well, I'm going to end this obvious, stressful conversation with an inanimate object. A little smoke. There you go. So like I said, mark your calendars, folks. September 12th, joint session of the South Dakota State Legislature. And I'm going to be there before the sun rises with the inverted American flag, the constitutional flag, the one without the fringe. So, North Carolina, you got 30 days to stop the flag from burning in South Dakota. So, you want to say hi, Mimi? Say hi. You outside? So like I said, mark your calendars. I'm not going to DC. I'm not going to go play in the sandbox with those frauds out there. Except for a few of you, and you know who you are. And if you do use the chant, just make sure it's not some of them frauds. God, they'll butcher it. So, anybody else got anything before I go? This has been an interesting coffee and a conversation, to say the least. But 1,527 days, 2.2 million minutes. It's a lot of time lost. How do you make up for 2.2 million minutes? And in that time, she's never met her sister. She doesn't even know what's going on. And if she does, then that's called adultification. And it just goes to prove more abuse of my child. And the whole thing is that society tells you got to be strong, that you got to pull through it, that it'll end someday. To what end? When? All I see is a bunch of apathetic people. A bunch of people that are just out for their own selfish desires and wants, greed. But I did report it to the chain of command for my daughter's kidnapper, so now they should be aware. And the next step after that is figuring out which county I need to report it to. So when this master sergeant calls me back, if he says there's nothing they can do, which again, I think NCIS should be called personally. All I want is my daughter's kidnappers to sit in front of a jury where I can show the evidence. And by definition, a child taken by force or fraud has been kidnapped. That's it. There is no peace in war. Not this war. Not 2.2 million minutes. Not 1,527 days. 218 weeks. And like I said, every minute is just another minute. I'm supposed to be strong. I'm not supposed to have emotion. I'm not supposed to sit there and feel those things. I'm not supposed to sit there and protest it. So like I said, September 12th, if the state of North Carolina and the state of South Dakota have not done anything to stop the kidnapping of my child, every state legislator is going to watch the flag burn on September 12th. And Governor Dugard brought them right to me. And everybody on that day is going to watch this unconstitutional form of government scramble to take the narrative, to frame me out as some kind of crazy person, when all it is 1,527 days, and at that point it'll be 357 days. And like I said in the beginning of all this, I know I have to stay alive. I know I have to keep my head up. But that does not mean that I don't feel every minute of it. The frauds, all the little circus shows around this are nothing. That's why they can't get to me. They can't get to me. The 10 minutes they're going to speak my name is nothing compared to the 2.2 million minutes I've already gone through. That being said, I'm going to go make Aubrey lunch. I'm going to wait for this Master Sergeant to call me back. And I'm going to go from there. I'll keep you guys updated. Have a good day or don't. Choice is always yours. We'll see you next time.